hopelessly vulgar academicism. What is it, and why was it considered as such in the 20th century? Academism, in painting some artists and art historians in the early 20th century, was considered by some artists and art historians as a kind of stagnation, and the academicians themselves were called stale conservatives, not giving way to new art. But why then their paintings were so popular, and now cause fans of painting quite understandable admiration for the impeccable technique, beauty, and aesthetics? And what picture is better to hang on the wall in the living room, something abstract and avant-garde, which is a set of different lines and spots, or academic classics with eternal subjects that please the eye? For most ordinary lovers of painting, the choice was obvious. We will talk about Academism, how it emerged, and why the Impressionists and later the avant-gardists rebelled against it so much in this video. Academism appeared within the walls of the Academies of Arts, special educational institutions that were financed by the state and were under the patronage of monarchs and other most influential persons. But this patronage imposed for artists and certain obligations, a minimum of creative experimentation. To write paintings should have been according to certain canons and on certain subjects, where the main thing, aesthetics, beauty, and strict rules. Academicism implied unconditional imitation of classical forms, up to complete depersonalization of the creative vision of the artist himself. The main thing in academism, perfect image, and it was regulated by many rules and laws, down to how to apply strokes, what colors to use, how to build a composition, and even what should be poses and turns of bodies. Academists divided genres into several stages: the most respected and highly paid, historical scenes, mythological and genre painting, portraits, landscapes, still lifes. Genres divided the number of paintings that were presented at exhibitions. Usually the best places were occupied by historical and mythological paintings, and landscapes and still lifes were given very little space. A good painting should carry a lofty moral, show heroic events and heroes, exalt the existing power and the monarch. Sources of inspiration for academists: this antiquity, the Bible, myths and legends, sometimes literature and the unquestioned authority. Raphael Santi. Characters in academist paintings were often idealized, and their clothing had to conform to established canons. The depiction of female nudes was also regulated. They had to be flawless and impersonal, an unattainable ideal. Nudes could be painted only goddesses, naiads, and mythological heroes, but never real people. Academists wrote their paintings for a long time. On a large-scale, historical or mythological canvas, worked for several years, because it was necessary very small strokes to depict extremely detailed image with perfect perspective and carefully prescribed light and shade. However, often behind the external beauty lost the semantic content of the paintings. They just pleased the eye, but did not cause any emotion and did not make viewers think. Gradually, academicians as artists, and the direction itself degraded. They just made money on conservative painting lovers, not thinking about new subjects and new ways of depicting reality. And then academism was replaced by impressionism, and then avant-gardism. In the early 20th century, neither society nor the majority of successful artists' academism was no longer interested in academia, seemed hopelessly outdated and vulgar, suitable only for decorating the living rooms of rich merchants and manufacturers, poorly versed in art. But nowadays the interest in academism has grown again. Having played with the avant-garde, artists and society have returned to eternal values, one of which was so despised in the 20th century, academism. Thanks for watching to the end. Likes and comments are a great way to support the channel.